So I'm just gonna dive right into it. So I was dating a guy and we ended up getting a dog together, and we got a camera to like watch the dog when we're not at home. And you could like talk to the camera and everything. But anyway, we were using that for like a couple months, but just like a brand new toy, like you get sick of it and you stop using it. So then we just kind of like had it there like in the kitchen or whatever, and we just kind of like ignored it. But I remembered it was there. I think he forgot that it was there, obviously. But I was going home for my older brother's wedding, and he didn't want to come, which is understandable. I'm not the one to force my loved one to do something. I'm like, it's my family anyway, so I'm like, I understand. But so his friend was having, people from his hometown come over, and the day after my brother's wedding, I was checking our security camera, because now it's just a security camera, and like seeing what he was up to. And because I just felt like something was wrong. Like, you ever get those feelings that like something's not right? And I was texting him and asking him what he's doing, and he said he was at like his friend's house, and blah blah blah. And I'm looking at this camera and I'm like, he's literally in our house with the guy who he was fucking before me and his friend from hometown. They're both from his hometown, but like I'm looking at this on the camera and he's texting me telling me that he's somewhere else. And I love loyalty and honesty, so like the fact that he's just straight up lying to me, I'm like, oh my God, what? Something's wrong here. Like, what? And I didn't want to say, hey, no, you're lying. I see you on camera, because then he would just unplug it. And I wanted to see like what was going to go down or whatever. And so, basically as the night progresses, I see him and the guy go into our bedroom and shut the door. And I lose it. I lost my mind. I went on Twitter and I started just posting crazy, sad things, because I was like, I thought everything was good. And like, I'm like, what? I was thinking like, maybe they're not doing something. But then I'm like, Matt, you're so stupid. Like, you're just stupid. You're letting things happen right in front of your face. Like, there's no way. So I'm like posting all these like sad, crazy things on Twitter, and like I told him, I was like, I know your ex fuck buddy is in our apartment or whatever, like that's not cool or whatever. And he's like, we're just friends, blah. And I was like, okay. So at this point, I'm like having some serious suicidal thoughts. I went for a walk. I was with my family and I was like, I need to leave right now. So I went for like a 3-hour walk, and I wanted to just really run, because there's a freeway nearby, and I was like thinking, oh my God, I just really want to run into a car right now, because I know my life is about to fall apart, and I could tell that this is happening, and I didn't want it to happen. I just wanted everything to stop right there when things were still kind of good. So I ended up being really evil and like buying a ticket like a day early, like a return ticket a day early, so I could surprise him and like see whatever is happening in action. So I like come home and he's not there, but there is the guy's shoes and jacket on our couch, and I'm like livid, and I hear music. So we lived on the 6th floor, and the person below us was his best friend, and that's where they were hanging out because they were blasting music or whatever. And I knew that they were below us, so I literally stomped to get their attention all the way to the balcony, and I threw it off the balcony. I threw the jacket, I threw the shoes. Like, I couldn't even think. I was like, the nerve of him allowing his ex fuck buddy like to still have stuff just laid around our fucking apartment. It just drove me crazy. So of course he came up immediately, and he was like yelling at me, telling me to go get those things, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna go get those things. Supposedly, I think it was the jacket or the boots belonged to his other friend who happened to be visiting. So So I kind of felt bad about that, but like, I was just like, no, like, why did you do this to me? Like, why is he here? Like, did you sleep with him? Like, what is going on? Like, what did I do to deserve this? And he's just being super mean at this time. Like, everything I'm saying, he's like regurgitating back to me in a painful way. Like, I'm like, I love you. And he's like, well, I don't love you. And I'm just like, what? Why are you saying this? Like, where did this come from? Like, where did this happen? Like, what? You know, so this goes on. I actually recorded it, and I put my phone on video recording, and then I stuck it in my pocket before, because I knew he was coming up, because I wanted to have it for playback, because I don't know, I like to depress myself, and I like to like, just like, sometimes I used to listen to that and just get really sad and upset, and like, I don't know. I think it's just because like when my mind is like that, I don't believe things are actually happening. So I wanted to get proof so I could like go back to it later when I'm like in a right mindset and like review what just happened. Because like this was like, you know, our first like really crazy fight. So I'm like basically crying. I'm crying, and I'm like, why would you do this to me? Like, we had such a good relationship, like, life is good, like, I don't know what I did to deserve this, and he's saying all these mean things back, and the only thing running through my head is I need to get him to tell me that he cheated on me. So I'm like, what did you do? Like, why did you do this? Like, why? And finally, I forgot what I said, but he just responds back with, he was a better fuck than you were. And I like, at this time, I lose it. I just lose it. I like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I know he was saying things just to hurt me, but like, I was like, why would you even say that? Like, you could just have told me that you didn't want to be in a relationship anymore, or that you cheated on me, but why do you have to like compare us and make me feel like I wasn't good enough? You know, like, I fucking hated that. So we're like fighting back and forth, and like a couple minutes, he realizes, he goes from like angry to like, I'm full on just fucking having a mental breakdown over there. I can hardly breathe. I'm like, why me? Like, I love you so much, and you do this to me, and I still like, I'm so confused of why that even happened, because I was like, what the hell? And so, you know what he does? He's like, okay, well, I can't deal with you. And he goes back downstairs to be with his friend and his ex-fuck buddy. And I'm like, what just happened? Like, he can't, like, he can't even be there with me. So the only things running through my mind right now is like, I hate my life, and I don't want to be here anymore. And I just want to die. So I went into our little drug drawer, and I took out his antidepressants, and I counted 20 something of them. I think it was 23 at the time. And I just downed them. I just downed them all, and I posted a sad tweet, and I just laid there hoping to die. And, you know, my friend, she was texting him. She said, Matt's not okay. Please go check on him. And you know what he said? He said, I don't want to. He said, I don't want to check on him. He said, he's fine. He's okay. Everything's fine. Like, he'll get over it or something like that. And she was like, no. She called him. She was like, you go get your ass up there right now. Matt is not okay. And so he finally comes up, and he's like, oh, so-and-so told me to come check on you. He's like, are you okay? And I was like, I just took the whole bottle of your antidepressants, and I want to die. So he calls the ambulance, like 911, and I go to the hospital. And while I'm at the hospital, I'm like, I can barely feel anything. I like, people, like, I kept seeing like an empty room, and people were talking to me, but everything was gone. I was just looking at this like light, and like, I swear I thought I was gonna die. I was like, this is the moment I'm gonna die. And they were packing this like, charcoal or something in my stomach to try to get me to throw up. So I was just sitting there throwing up, and like, they were just trying to get me back to life. because it was clear that I was slowly, thankfully, his pills were like extended release, so they didn't kick in all at once, but otherwise I would have died. I would have literally died. Oh my god, sorry, my mind is like so clouded right now. I'm losing my voice. So I was at the hospital and my best friends actually came to visit me. And I remember that's the first time I was back like for like, I was like gone for like hours. And then all of a sudden I was like awake and I was throwing up all over myself. And I look to the side and my friends are there and they're like, Matt, we're here. Are you okay? And I was like, I'm alive. I was so glad I'm alive, and I was still loopy, and I was like, I don't know what's happening right now, like where's my ex? And they're like, oh, he went back with his friends to his hometown, and I was like, he couldn't even come and stay with me? Like, I just tried to kill myself, and he left, and I just couldn't believe it. And then I was there in the hospital. And then, the mental hospital is awful, by the way. Like, so you go into the mental hospital and they strip you down naked and they go through every inch of your body to record like scars and any bruises or any marks. It was like so humiliating. And I'm like, well, I got myself into this mess, and it was just like an awful experience. And afterwards, everything just fell apart. Like, I posted all these like sad tweets and all this crazy things, and I lashed out, and I did a lot of things that I, wish that I hadn't, because I don't know, like looking back, I was like, wow, I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go from there. And, it took me a while to be okay. I don't think I ever forgave my ex for what he did. But now, first of all, it took me like 2 years to get over him. Even though he did that for me, like even like a year later, I found out he cheated on me with someone else. Like, he cheated on me with someone else. And I was like, what?